This is a wandering author here, reminding you guys that we are all the authors of our own lives. Today, I am in Scottsville, Kentucky, which, from the research I was doing, the most exciting thing about this city is it was the birthplace of the Dollar General, the nationwide chain that has over 15,000 stores nowadays. But anyways, the topic that I'd like to talk about today was the difference between generations and whether tough times create tougher people. So, I was reading a book by Dan Carlin. He's a podcaster who did the Hardcore History series. It's a great podcast. I definitely recommend listening to it if you haven't already. But he was talking about how the Romans formed the tactical bodies of the cohort to equalize the differences between them and the Germanic barbarians, basically saying that civilization tends to soften people, and that if you took a given group of barbarians and pitted them against just like a random group of Roman citizens, the citizens would lose all the time, and it's only because they trained that they were able to equalize that. I think we could probably extend the idea to modern day. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who've grown up with plenty of material goods nowadays, but people also have a much harder time dealing with adversity. Now, it's obviously not a hard rule. There's plenty of very tough people alive today, even amongst the younger generations. But I think that the generations who probably grew up during the Great Depression, I mean, at least there's got to be some actual differences between these peoples. I also wanted to talk some more about the Federal Reserve, like the fact that it's not federal at all. So, its charter, the current Federal Reserve, I know I mentioned the bank war. So we've had 3 separate central banking institutions in the United States since our nation was founded. The second Bank of the United States was shut down by Andrew Jackson. He believed that central banking institutions tended to benefit wealthy bankers more than anybody else, kind of at the expense of the farmers. It wasn't until 1913 that the current central bank, the Federal Reserve's charter, was signed. And you would think by its name, Federal Reserve, that it was actually like a part of our government, but it's not. It's a completely private organization, and it's not directly accountable to the taxpayers in any way. So what that really means for us is the people who are in control of our nation's currency, which directly affects everybody, are not responsible to the taxpayers in any way. I mean, according to their mandate, which was part of their charter, they're supposed to minimize unemployment and keep inflation under control. But as I've mentioned in some previous videos, we've had 5 resignations in like the last 2 years due to insider trading allegations. They seem to be caring a lot more about what happens to them than what happens to the people. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So my questions to y'all: what do you think about our central banking institutions? Do you believe that we should have a central bank? Do you think that if there were a central bank, that it should be an actual federal government like organization, so that way it'd be responsible to the taxpayers? And then also, do you think there's a difference between generations? Do you think that the time period or era people grow up in affects the kind of people they become. Just some interesting thought-provoking questions, hopefully. This is a wandering author here, reminding you guys that we are all the authors of our own lives. And also, as always, spend less and live more. Signing out.